as long as we make the show. We can be the best or we can be the worst, so we can be the best thing you ever heard. With the motor singing and the grandstands ringing, it's hard to put it all in words, but this is how we ride, this is how we do. Riding mud, sliding up higher in the groove. Don't give a damn about the cash we're spending. With the time we got, we choose to play it on the go, to stay out on the run. We all high, wild, and handsome. Ain't telling you what's right or wrong or what to choose. Hey, but this is how we do. This is how we do. Out on the dirt ovals we play, life in the bright lights with no shade. So letting her go, letting her rip, letting her fly, tossing her in sideways, living the life, letting her ride, outside winning to die. Cross her up on the cushion, crossing the line, cause some drama and some bullshit they didn't like. And if they don't like the move, then we're ready to fly. But this is how we ride, this is how we do. Riding mud, sliding up higher in the groove. Don't give a damn about the cash we're spending. With the time we got, we choose to play it on the go, to stay out on the run. We all high, wild, and handsome. Ain't telling you what's right or wrong or what to choose. Hey, but this is how we do. This is how we do. This is how we roll, this is how we do. It's not for everybody but the chosen few. And we pray, cause we know that they might not ever come back. But this is how we ride, this is how we do. Riding mud, sliding up higher in the groove. Don't give a damn about the cash we're spending. With the time we got, we choose to play it on the go, to stay out on the run. We all high, wild, and handsome. Ain't telling you what's right or wrong or what to choose. Hey, but this is how we do. This is how we do.
Well, hello. Oh no, hold on. We gotta fix something. Oh, we gotta fix the song. Hold on. We first we gotta put some lights on. Oh yeah, we gotta put some lights on. And then additionally, we gotta take that song away. We gotta play Ripper's favorite song. You know who you are, the crew chief for Sheldon Hodenshaw. We are looking for his favorite song right now. There it is. We got to play this. We got to hear it one time. It is on all your listening platforms. This is it. The favorite song of Ripper from the Sheldon Hodenshaw.
Like a broke Joe, cartel gonna care for me, not you, cause I'm the CEO. I'm here to fight, looking to sink with my torpedo. I'm just a lap car trying to survive, running in the back, fearing my life. Cause there's a black and 2041 guy adding to the junk in the field with some white on white crimes. Or is it 99 maybe? I don't give a damn. But
We may have to make a song about this. Because that song, man, I feel like we could have any kind of songs in the world. But we are here, ladies and gentlemen. We are in a hotel somewhere. I know it looks very cryptic. I thought it was a good price until we were sitting here at 11 o'clock last night and somebody bangs on the doors. We were already targeted after this. Apparently, there's a lot of people being targeted currently. But we did had this planned kind of at 5 a.m. after the King's Royal to go to Cedar Point for a water park visit. And I was not going to let everything that happened yesterday and everything that happened today ruin my motherfucking Cedar Park visit, all right? Cedar Point visit. Did I, Brett? We got a live viewing audience. Australians that we've been hanging out since they arrived in Kings Royal. They are the people who transported the 18,000 the 18,000 kilometer journey that transported the Carlton Dry, the amazing beer that we have. We are saving for the Knoxville Nationals. It's going to be very interesting to see how that goes when we get to Knoxville. Will they be left, Brett? Do you think they'll be left? You can talk to me just like you're Sean. It's fine. But Sean has the beer. There's only a couple left. He is the gatekeeper, so please stay away from him, Ripper. I know you are friends. You live around the corner. But anyway, we are here to, unfortunately, I'm going to say it, talk about a subject that Mark, did I not try to avoid this? I tried to avoid this at all costs. The experience, the sights, the sounds. There was not a lot of Tyler Walker content during Eldora on the channel here, although we did a hell of a job doing content. I believe we reached around the 6 million mark across all platforms. Majority of those being on Facebook. Got to give Facebook the credit. I think it was like 5.7 million views throughout the week at the King's Roll. I'd like to see the competition. Don't tell me some drunk. What do you think, Mark? Did some drunk in the damn stands yelling and screaming about how Bubba Wallace scared Kyle Larson from fighting David Gravel? I feel like this is a bike throwing situation. Do you know what I mean by that? Although we can't make Aaron Reitzel jokes. I'm sorry. Hopefully all the drivers are okay. Crazy. You know, I want to talk about, or I have talked about how with where the cars are going and how the drivers are driving, we need a new car before we keep going forward, or at least institute some rules that will protect the drivers a little bit more. But there's just no crash radius in these vehicles. Everyone who gets in them definitely has some kind of hidden anger or something wrong with them to a degree, because they are really strapping into cars willing to risk their lives today. And heck, even some people who haven't done it in a very long time and just need people to help them, treat him fairly, and give him a few dollars. He's willing to go out there and risk his life. So I want to give a big shout out to, and hopefully people recovering well, Tyler Courtney, Aaron Reitzel. I think somebody did do what I actually predicted. Did GL Selzy go to the 7, BC? Did that happen, Mark? He did? Okay, I don't know if that's official. They've told me this since we got back from the amusement park. And we did actually go to Mexican, which they had never had before, or one of them had never had before. They thought it was amazing. We did actually sit underneath a Yingling umbrella, though, did we not? We did. And now I am introducing them to Busch Light Apple. But I know that's off subject completely. But we had the glorious scenario outside of the views and everything happening of this Tyler Walker thing happening with Bitcoin puppets. I know people think puppets is this, that, or the other, but a subculture. The social interaction, I was told by several media members who navigate Twitter that the puppets did some of the most amazing marketing for sprint car racing that they had ever seen. I want to thank the community who tried to engage into the situation and make it as big as everybody thought it could be. Definitely some new eyes on the sport. We met one guy, what was it, Mark, Wednesday? Never seen a sprint car before. We were hanging out there with Shawn Michael, talking to his interesting self. And he was like blown away. He couldn't believe how good it was, could he? He couldn't. He was like, wow, this is crazy. So definitely want to thank the puppets people for getting involved in the sport, and Bitcoin trying to, and Mark in particular from Bitcoin, actually, who took this leap with the Bitcoin community because he's so far, he's so far ahead in that industry and does some really big things. He's got Donald Trump and JD Vance in his cell phone as like personal friends. So it's interesting. I'm not saying, hey, vote for the red. I'm just saying he's on a higher level of doing things and operations. I'm just saying, well, at least their cabinet, maybe not Donald in particular. JD Vance, I could see it with all that eyeshadow he has. Regardless, outside of those topics, just want to thank everybody who made the King's Roll a great thing. Hopefully for Tyler, although Tyler was not a participant in the big show of the week, the King's Royal. Things went south. We have seen one side of the coin posted all over our social medias and stuff from car owner Ron Rutherford. We haven't heard from Tyler Courtney. We haven't heard from the Bitcoin representative after what happened. I do not blame him. this is a interesting thing when big business tries to get involved, and they're not just somebody's buddy that's plays in a band or something. But we've heard from Rob Rutherford, but we haven't heard from the Bitcoin guy. We haven't heard from Tyler yet, and we haven't heard from the crew, which the crew that you're going to be hearing from tonight with their side of the coin have been involved with this Tyler Walker thing since day one. It had nothing to do with Bitcoin. It had to do with Tyler Walker just getting back in a race car and being good, or being Tyler again. You know, not the Skid Row Tyler, but the Tyler Walker that everyone had missed for all these years. And so we are attempting to show a side of the coin tonight on the show. Maybe not my, personal opinions, views expressed, whatever, is not of mine. For instance, I'll give my opinion. Of course I will. But our opinions, our freedom of speech is constitutionally protected in the United States. So to restrict that or to try to violate that is against the law as well, believe it or not. So anyway, we do have some people who want to say something. They got a right to speak as well, and that is the crew who was involved from the beginning here with the Ron Rutherford scenario, and they were more than likely firsthand accountants to what all happened to lead to the point that we did not see Tyler Walker at the King's Royal on Saturday in a Bitcoin Puppets car. Once again, congratulations for how y'all attacked the social outlets. It was amazing. But over here to the crew, the other side of the coin, we're calling it here. I mean, that's funny, is it not? Are y'all there on the other side of the line or not? Are y'all present right now?
We're here, buddy. We're
okay.
Here.
So we got a picture up here. We just took it. We tried to make this video. It didn't work out to the best of our. I could make it. We're on a hot spot right now, so hopefully y'all have no connection issues. Hopefully we don't here on the show. If you do, that's why. But we got a picture up here, left to right. We see the King's Royal crew. The Bitcoin Puppets car is actually in the background of this picture. And obviously very interesting that the Bitcoin Puppets car is in this garage legally at this point. It seems like cops were involved according to the Ron Rutherford story. We're going to talk about that probably. I don't know. We'll see. But you see to the left, that in the black shirt, that's Andrew. I hate this last name. Buchter? How's this go?
You said it, Buchter. Andrew Buchter.
Andrew Buchter.
It's not spelled like Buchter. Like if I was to go online and be like, all right, Andrew Buchter, I'd be like B-O-O-K. Like book turd. Like if I was to spell Buchter, I would be. It would be like book turd.
It's like laughter, but Buchter.
Yeah.
And then so
silent things,
So who the hell are you? What's your background? We'll get down the line here. Who the hell are you? You're like, I met you obviously, but people don't know who you are. I really enjoyed your work ethic. I kind of felt bad for you at Port Royal when Tyler gave you a little bit of an attitude and said, get rid of all the shocks and all that and blame the shocks. I think Penske makes a good shock. But give some background on this, on who you are to the people that are watching you or hearing from you for the first time. Hello.
Hang on 1 second. Hang on 1 second. He's coming.
Oh, God. He's always busy. He's never down for a second. Is that Liv?
No,
is that Liv consulting him? For the record, this is also Liv, the woman that I made, very misogynistic jokes and thought was funny and everybody laughed. That is your woman, Andrew, who does the mufflers and works in the pits. Very impressive. I think a really good example for women in sports, more so than the girl in the infield with, half her cleavage and drunk, I think a woman in the pits throwing some headers around and stuff like that's pretty amazing. So that's your better half, correct, Andrew?
Hey, this is Tommy. He is on the phone, and he'll be right back in 1 second.
Okay, so then we'll move on to you, since God's not allowing this to happen. This is how it is. Go with the flow. Don't fight against it. You are the older gentleman sitting in the middle here in the white shirts. You do some kind of sidecar. I give it a FSC sidecar or something like that. What is your involvement here with the team? What's a little bit of background? You got Jan Opperman stuff, I guess, in your shop or something like that. Give us a little explanation. Who are you?
I'm in Jan Opperman's old shop where they were going to start making the frames. And Claude Stanley was the original owner of used to be Freedom Sidecars. I changed the name to FSC. And him and Jan were very good friends, close friends. My fabricator that works for me was Jan's right-hand man. His name is Bob Gusselman, and he worked for Bogart and all that stuff. But he's 82 years old and comes in every day.
Wow.
And it's no joke. The guy is a Force Recon Marine, awesomest guy in the world. The greatest guy to work. He teaches my guys how to make and TIG weld. I have guys coming in and out of my shop that want to learn.
So that's
and
how you
Tyler
got into
Walker,
sprint car racing?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. I was around them guys back in the day, and Tyler Walker is a very good MIG and TIG welder fabricator, and he has a job at my shop. If he decides to stay here in PA, he knows it. I bought him a truck. He has that sitting at my house right now. He has a ride wherever he wants to go.
Okay, I was just more so trying to talk to you about who you are, where you're from, not all that, but
How are
your involvement in racing? Yeah, I get what your future projection is with Tyler there to be able to have a job and work if he chooses so. Maybe he wants to be a sprint car driver instead of those things. What about you as a person and your background?
My background is I'm a fabricator. I have the sidecar shop. I've been doing fabrication work since I was a kid. I grew up on a farm, welding, and stuff. And I was around motorcycles, sprint cars, and just crazy stuff, building crazy stuff. You know what I mean? Back in the day, and I got hooked up with Claude Stanley. And he was good friends with Jan Opperman, and we rode motorcycles together. And then I came to work there at the shop, and it just went from there, dude. And I ended up owning the shop.
Well, what made you come back to be a part of this effort with Tyler? Have you always been a crew member, or what's the deal?
No. I've been out of the sprint car racing for 20 plus years, and Tyler and I were talking. I'm trying to give him a ride to come here. And and he made me call Ron Rutherford, and he's like, "Hey, I'm trying to put a deal with him. You need some sponsor money," and that's how it went. And Tyler and I were back and forth over a month or so before this happened. And I know Frank from Drop Inc. was on the phone with him and trying to put it together. And then Tyler called me and said, "Hey, listen, drop some money. Let's just try to make this thing work." And it worked for a little bit, but not really,
How early was this discussion happening as far as the team needing finances to go PA Speed Week racing? I'm assuming that's what this conversation is about, right?
It was probably a good 3 weeks or so, maybe a little bit before that, maybe. I can't recall, but, Tyler and I were back and forth, and I was trying to get him another ride. And then, he put me in contact with Ron, and I know I'm friends with Ron, and know who Ron is. And, I shoveled some money towards that, towards, a little bit of sponsorship and, blah, blah, blah. It's just, it's one of the things that it came and now it's disappeared.
So was this a period where you started to do general crew maintenance? How did you become a part of the crew at this point? You're just sponsoring, basically.
Tyler and I were talking, and Tyler come in, and I knew Andrew and stuff, and they're like, just becoming part of the crew and part of the sponsorship, And I work hard. I try and do as much as I can to help everybody out,
Right.
That was it. It was just that Tyler said he wanted me there, and that was it.
Right.
So that's how it is. So I'll be going to Knoxville with him, and wherever he's going to go, I follow him, and my sponsorship goes with Tyler. Period. 100%.
Right. Well, and what was the experience? Obviously, I'm just trying to let people know you are. Is Andrew back yet, or is he still gone?
I do believe I can't speak for Andrew, but we were planning on flying to Knoxville for the Knoxville Nationals.
Right. I
What
understand.
time?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I didn't know that. I was just asking, is Andrew back?
What's that?
Is he back? Like, is he in the room?
Oh, Andrew is still out on the phone, but I can't speak for him. But you know, my money goes for my business goes to sponsor Tyler, and I follow Tyler. I don't care if it's in California, or if it's in South Carolina or Florida. But I
Right.
follow Tyler, and if I got to fly back and forth, I will do so.
Okay. So,
You know, Tyler's my friend, been my friend since the '90s, and I will follow him to the end. And he came back from where he's at now to where he is
right.
now. Dude, it's impossible for 99.99% of the people to come back from where he was at.
Right. That's true.
You know,
100% true.
we bunked together all pretty much, other than one night. You know, with Biggie in my room. We sat up and talked until 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. You know, we talked 10, 12 times a day. We FaceTime 10, 12 times a day. You know, the dude is in a better place. He is back on top, and there's no one going to stop him. You know, he's going to get a better ride, and he's going to win races. That's all I got to say. And I'm behind him 110%.
Okay. So that's it. That's all you have to say?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Other than, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't want to talk or discuss what happened at Kings Roll, that's fine, or any of this
Well,
situation.
Kings Roll.
How did you get in? How did PA Speed Week go?
Like a shit show. 3 monkeys fucking a football. That was me, Brian, and Andrew fucking a football, and Tyler's in the middle, dude. It was like, it was horrible. The most horrible thing I've ever witnessed in my entire life. In the Kings Royal, how we got through that is beyond me. We were out of gas in the.
Hold on. What's causing the problems? Why was everything a monkey fucking a football?
Logistics. We were supposed to have a rental car to get back and forth to the track. And at 7 a.m., we're ready to go to the track and start working on the car. We just got back to the room at 4 a.m., and we're all up and showered and ready to go. We had no ride. We had nothing. It's an hour away. We had no logistics. We were counting on other people to give us a freaking ride there, and it didn't work out. And we had to wait for other people to wake the hell up. They were out partying the night before, and I'm not naming names, but I was pissed off.
Well,
you know, I'm ready to go.
You're talking about this happened during Kings Roll Week?
Yeah, Kings Royal, man.
Talking about Speed Week.
No, Kings Royal.
No. He's talking about what happened, what y'all had, the situation. But I thought there was money from the Bitcoin guy to take care of y'all.
No, dude, no. We were supposed to have a rental car. Tyler was supposed to have his own room. He bunked with me and Biggie, the dog.
Now, what do you mean supposed to? What do you mean? What happened?
This is what I was told by Tyler Walker. He was supposed to have his own room. He didn't have his own room. He bunked with me. We were supposed to have a rental car from Rutherford. Had it all set up. We were supposed to have this. Dude, we were begging for rides. There was 6 and 8 of us in a vehicle, and some of us riding the back of a truck. It what, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we're sitting at the track. We're all done, cleaned up, and ready to go. We're sitting around for 3 hours. That was bullshit. We ran out of gas in the generator at the Kings Royal. We had no gas. We asked for gas. We couldn't get it. We had a tractor trailer there. What are we going to push back out and go get gas with the tractor trailer and the whole hauler? Bullshit. And then there was a whole old generator there. We picked that thing up and dumped the gas out of this old generator into the generator so we could run on Thursday night. So we had air. We had electricity. This is bullshit.
Isn't this what happens? I mean, how much can you expect from Ron? It's not like he has a lot of money. It's a small-time team trying to go 410 racing.
Dude, the logistics. You got to take care of your guys. Seriously. I run a business, and I take care of my guys. They call me, and I have it there in a half hour. Like, boom, do you have your shit? Boom. You don't have to wait on me.
Well, so
I have a multi-million-dollar business. And I'll tell you what. When I was at Speed Weeks, I was at Eldora. My guys had their stuff, and all I had to do is make one phone call, and I make it happen.
Right, I understand that, but from what you're saying, it just sounds like Ron. Hold on. Why was the reason you didn't? Why did the car not roll out Saturday? It's a lack of logistics. It sounds like, Ron's story might be true here with the Bitcoin guy. Was the Bitcoin guy supposed to pay for all this? What happened?
Our rooms were paid up until Friday morning. We were never going to run the King's Royal, apparently, because he told us we had to beat feet to Port Royal with that car. So he was going to screw Bitcoin out of their money and the whole logistics on Saturday for the King's Royal. We were never going to run King's Royal. We were kicked out of our room. And nasty Nate Drinker, paid for our rooms that morning. We rolled in on Saturday morning, waiting to hear what they were going to do, and then a bunch of bullshit happened. And fuck, dude, it was so fucked up. Ron fucked this whole thing. He rolled out Friday night with a whole bag of money and fucked Tyler Walker out of all this money.
He rode out with the whole bag of money. So there was money to provide y'all rooms. Maybe he just didn't have the money. Well, do you think there was money to provide y'all with rooms?
I'll put it this way. I'm going to tell the truth, and I'll tell you 100%. Going out there, to get out there, I had to put $233 in diesel in the truck, and Andrew, on the way home, had to put $400 because his car was declined. I don't care what Ron Rutherford fucking says. He fucked. The car was declined every time, even at $23 for a meal. I paid for my guys' meals, the crew, several times. All right, so
what? Why, hold on, couldn't this be explained though that Ron just didn't get whatever the Bitcoin guy told him? Like what? That's kind of like the story we're hearing is Ron just didn't have money because the Bitcoin guy wasn't paying.
No, he gave him $15,000 up front. He got $15,000 up front, and supposedly he got $14,000 on Friday and rolled out the door. And he said he only sold 47 shirts on Friday and gave Tyler $600 and rolled out the door. Dude, there was a lot more shirts sold at 47 shirts.
And you're talking about the rat bag shirt at that point, right?
Yes.
And the rat bag shirt was being sold out of the trailer to not conflict with the Bitcoin shirt.
They were selling the rat bag shirts with the Bitcoin shirts from what I was seeing on Facebook. But I was down in the pit, dude. I had no idea what was going on. But we were there until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and there's people still buying T-shirts all week long.
And that was, you're saying that when that happened, that he gave Tyler and said, "Here you go, $600."
Yeah.
Okay.
And we all witnessed it. There was me, Andrew, Brian Hare. But it's bullshit. The whole logistics of the whole thing was so fucked up that it is pathetic. Like I've never seen. I think a 5-year-old could have ran this team better than what the fuck was going on.
Well, it sounds like Ron could have just been low after paying for Speed Week and getting the car there, and he just didn't have the money to properly do it. Apparently, that's where Bitcoin was supposed to step in and fix it. But then how do we get to the story in the post that we saw from Ron Rutherford about $15K and all this, and then the trailer and the motors, and there's cops?
I'd say that's all bullshit. That's bullshit. Total fucking bullshit.
What do you mean by that,
Seriously.
Tommy?
We got left out there high and dry with no room, nothing. We had to pay our own way with the rig that's not his, that's Andrew's, and the trailer is not his. I don't care what the fuck he says. That trailer is not his. That is the Streaker's trailer. And if you pull the registration up on the plate on that is George Streaker's trailer. And the mule that's saying his, that's bullshit too. I don't give a fuck. You know what? Ron can kiss my ass, and I want my name off his cars. I want my FSC name not with his anything to do with Ron Rutherford, period.
And you're just saying this based on the experience. And you're thinking this is Ron. This isn't the Bitcoin guy's
On the
fault.
experience, I gave him money, dude, for his sponsorship. Fuck him. He fucking dicked Tyler Walker for like 22 grand.
Is that why
Dude,
the car
and
was
Tyler
being...
was one of our friends.
Hold on. Is that why this motor deal happened? What happened with that?
I was not involved in that whole thing. I don't know what was going on, but hey, it all happened, and he gives them $1,000 to let him go. You know what I mean? That's bullshit.
So you're saying he gave 600 at the track and then 1,000 on Saturday to Tyler?
Yep.
And said that's what it's worth.
Apparently, that they rode the shirt tails off Tyler Walker and patting themselves on the back, and we did a good fucking thing. And bullshit. I'm with Tyler. Wherever Tyler goes, this is where my money goes, and this is where I go. And I talk to Tyler at least 15 times a day. Okay? To that. FaceTiming. And he can't say a whole lot, and we're just going to let bygones be bygones, and you know what?
I'm curious. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm curious to what Andrew has to say. Is he still around or no?
Yeah, he's out here.
Well, how about this? We'll take a little break. I'm going to use the restroom, get him back in the room. When we come back, I want to talk to him.
Yeah.
Is that
he's
possible?
on the phone. Cause
you got to wrangle him in.
Our phone's blowing up. Hey, Chaz, I got outlaw teams calling me, wondering what's going on.
Well, we're live on the show, and we can talk about what's going on. I'd like to get Andrew involved in this as well. I need to use the restroom. Will you attempt to at least give an attempt to bring him to the show for people to hear?
Well, Chaz, he's about to wrap his phone call up.
Okay,
and
well,
get in here.
Let me have a little break. We'll put the chat up. We'll put the chat up on the screen. If you want to go look at the chat on somebody's phone real quick, we'll put the chat up on the screen. I'm going to take a break. Hopefully we can have Andrew back.
I've been looking at the chat. I see Ron commenting.
I see Ron deleted his Facebook account today.
Hold on. Ron's commenting on it and everything. You know, he's sending me. Well, I had to delete everybody off of Snapchat, his whole family. Like, I don't want nothing to do with them. You know, like I'm being like I got people calling me saying, "Oh, next time you're at the track, Ron said he's kicking your ass." Like he'd come to my house. You know, shit like that. Like it ain't about a fight. It ain't about a fight. It's about money. Like you fuck Tyler Walker over, dude. Like you know, like. I work for free, you know, like I asked for like one of them pretzel bowlies, you know, for me and Andrew to eat lunch up at the shop. Oh, that's too expensive, you know, like, what do you mean? We've been putting in all kinds of work. You know, I'm sleeping in the fucking rig 2 days a week during speed week. Well, yeah, 2 days out of speed week, I slept in the rig to try to get the car ready, you know, and help Andrew out. I didn't want to drive the hell home because I'm that tired, you know, so I slept in the rig, wake up in the morning, you know, get back to work with Andrew when he shows up, shit like that, you know. And it's just, you know, like I'm getting calls like, hey, Ron's saying this shit about you, Ron's saying that shit about you. Like, that shit's not cool. Like, I thought we were buddies, dude. You know, and like the people that are calling me, you know, like are very, like, other very, very good friends of mine. You know, they're not going to lie to me. And they're actually, the one is actually very good friends with Ron. You know, so it's crazy. But if you want to talk to Andrew wrapped up his call. He'll explain a lot more to you. And then I'll give you more input if you want it.
Hey, Chaz, how you doing?
We're all back. Sorry, we finally all came back. It was perfect timing, actually. Andrew shows up right as Brian has this crazy rant. It was beautiful, Brian. I was hearing it from across the room. I was like, you tell him, Brian. You tell him. This is what I saw.
You know, like I just, you know, it's frustrating. It's very frustrating. Like I have nothing against Ron at all, but you know, for him to go around telling like all my buddies and other people that he's gonna kick my ass next time, like Wednesday if I show up to Bath Motor Speedway for the outlaw race, like that's ridiculous, dude. I'm not about fighting nobody, you know. I just, you know, show a little appreciation, you know.
Right.
Like I didn't have to do that. I came on board with Andrew because like Andrew asked me, he said, "Hey, will you help me out?" Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. You know, like Andrew's a very good buddy of mine. You know, he always has been. And you know, like I have nothing. I have not one negative thing to say about Andrew. You know, like he's helped me out on my race car and everything. Like,
well,
you know,
and this is the
problem
is Ron has too. You know, I got a real problem with what I'm even doing right now just because Ron has done really nice things for a lot of people. For me, he's probably done them for you.
But he has, yeah, absolutely. But you know, at the same time, like it's kind of frustrating. You put all this work in for his team and everything, and you know, like you get treated like shit. Yeah, I mean, okay, he bought me like what 2 mules out there, maybe 4. You know.
Well, what about that? What about that Eldora? What about that Eldora story? You know, he didn't have to do that. You know, the one you told me. You don't have to go into details, but
yeah, no, I didn't have to do that. It's just, you know, like I found out a lot. I found out a lot. You know, like it's. I mean, you know, like I have people calling me, telling me, you know, about, you know, he did a fundraiser for Sherry Hodnett when Greg Hodnett passed away. You know,
really,
like he raised like $30 grand, and I guess
how do we know that much? How do you know that much?
A lot of people called me.
It's all through the pits. It's all through the pits.
What are you talking about? Hold on. See, I don't know a lot. I'm probably like the people listening here tonight. He did a fundraiser when Greg Hodnett died.
Yes, to raise money for Sherry Hodnett. And this is like, I got 5 phone calls about this. A few people told me around the pits about it in Eldora. Now, I don't know if it's true or not, but, you know, if it's coming from that many people, it's kind of, you know.
And so hold on. What happened in this thing that you're describing? What happened? He did a deal at his shop, I guess, the pizza shop, Mama's Pizza?
Yeah, at the pizza shop, raised like $30 grand. And I was told that Sherry only seen like $1,000 of it. And you know, so, now is this true? Like, I don't know. Like, the only person that can tell is, you know.
But you're saying there's reputable people repeating this story over and over in the PA racing scene,
dude. And this is Tommy back again. I had about 8 people call me today about the same story.
Are these reputable people?
100%.
Like this isn't some drunk. This isn't some drunk PA fan saying these things. This is like a driver.
This is team owners, like team owners, outlaw teams,
drivers.
Like it's not even. I don't care about outlaw teams. It's a lot of local PA drivers that, you know, said stuff about it.
But drivers
holy shit! And I'm not putting their names out there because, you know, what was that?
You're saying there's team owners and drivers in the area and just people and crew members and all these people who are repeating this story. Reputable people.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
So this,
and like I said, I'm not going to put their names out there because that's not my place to put there. If they want to put the story out, they can. But it's not my place. They just told me.
So if this was true, then why didn't we see anything about it, like publicly? Why didn't nobody go after Ron about that? That seems way more egregious. If it's true,
I mean, that's a very good question. I don't know.
I don't know if it's cash.
If it's cash.
What do you mean if it's cash?
Well, that's like the people that gave $75 a piece to put the name on the car. I have 5 of my friends.
Hold on. What are you talking about? Explain what you're talking about. $75 a piece. What do you mean?
Yeah, for Tyler Walker to run their name on the car. All right.
You mean when? When was that? That was a post on Facebook, right?
It was going to be after Speed Weeks. He put the big post out there about $75 a piece. Put your name on the car, and it was going to get lettered. I had 5 of my friends give him money, and I handed him the money.
Hold on. So people who don't know what you mean by this, he's describing a situation during PA Speed Week where the Ron Rutherford Motorsports, I believe, made a post. And with the rat bag car and said, hey, pay a certain $75 a piece, minimum donation, right? Yeah. To get their name onto the rat bag Tyler Walker car type of deal, right? That was a Facebook social media post, right?
The Tyler Walker rat bag car and get your name put on it. And I had 5 of my friends, and he's posting out there was 7 people. Now, probably maybe 7 people Venmo'd him, but there was people at the track, and Tyler Walker was there, and the lady gave him $300. Old lady, because she loved Tyler. Okay, and Tyler said he felt so bad, and he told to give it back. No, but that's where it went. And I had my buddies all call me, said, "When's my name going on the car?" Well, what am I supposed to tell them? I said, "Call Ron Rutherford.
Right.
Call him. It's not up to me. I don't have nothing to do with it. I'm just a crew member. I'm a sponsor, crew member. I scrape mud. That's all I do.
And you fuel.
Right, guys?
And you fuel. You did fuel the car. I saw that at least once. Interesting thing, Ron's calling me right now. I don't know if he enjoys what y'all are saying or not, but throughout PHP week and even this King's Royal, we've seen Ron very vocal. We're seeing what he is explaining what's happening tonight, explaining why he wasn't at King's Royal, what happened during PHP week. We see these posts all the time. We see updates from Ron all the time, correct? So his side of the story is what he's been posting. And that side of the story is already out there. This is more so about this is more so about y'all's side of the story, other eyewitness accounts of this whole entire Tyler Walker, Ron Rutherford deal, and of course not showing up to the Saturday at King's Royal. But that's where we started this, and it sounds like it didn't just start at Saturday when y'all didn't show up to King's Royal. There's been issues here.
Well, we were there. We were sitting right at the pit gate, and negotiations were going on with Bitcoin and the whole 9 yards. And I sat in the trailer, and I opened the doors, and like, hell, I'm going to sit and talk to fans. And that's what I did. Right. I had just about every sprint car racer, Donnie Schatz in the trailer talking. I had everybody, just about everybody, stopping by and saying hello.
Well,
want to know what's going on.
Well, what I mean by I wasn't talking about that. It just sounds like that there's been some questionable things and happening around this whole entire Rutherford Tyler Walker partnership since it developed.
I think everybody rode the shirt tails of Tyler Walker, and I don't fucking like it, and I don't care what anybody says. It's bullshit. They took advantage of Tyler Walker.
What would they be taking advantage of him for, though? For what reason?
Or from his name.
From his name and money. The T-shirts. How many T-shirts did they sell of him? He's supposed to get 100% of that. He got nothing, hardly. Nothing.
No, you can't say nothing. If it wasn't zero, you can't say nothing.
Okay.
What? I mean, we don't need to tell what he got.
5% of the bullshit, he got like nothing. Like that is walking around money compared to what was sold.
How do we know what was sold and what wasn't? You're just saying by seeing the T-shirts go? What just happened?
I don't know, but
is Andrew back or no?
Yeah, good. Hey, Chaz, how are you doing? This is Andrew.
Okay, we finally got this Andrew Buchter that everyone has been anticipating to hear from for 45 minutes. Tommy's a great storyteller. I told him that. He can get very impressive. If you want to get the phone a little closer to you, it's a little muffly. But sorry.
No, I'm ready.
Okay, so you were obviously just on the phone. I was trying to get some people. I led you in very good earlier before you took the phone call. But who are you? You were a part of this thing from day one. To reset the premise here, my experiences, I saw you as one of the hardest workers in the entire pit area around this entire operation since the rat bag to the Bitcoin scenario. Although I tried to stay away after the Bitcoin deal was finally being put together for obvious reasons. Yeah. I feel like, but. Who are you? Where are you from? What was your involvement here with this 410 transformation with the Ron Rutherford team? Who are you? Andrew Buchter, not spelled like it, but they may not want to know how to spell your name. You may get messages till 3 weeks from now. I'm not sure. But who are you for the world out there? This Andrew Buchter. Who is that? You are the guy that had the greatest Penske shocks in the world, and Tyler Walker disrespected you in front of everybody. I will never forget it. But outside of that, well, who are you?
Well, just I always try to remain in the background. I help a lot of teams here in Central PA, not only sponsoring cars, but working on cars and helping people get their cars maintenance. Get paid to go to a couple shops and do their car. And buddy of mine, and Ron and I linked up, and Ron and I have known each other for a long time, and he's always been a pretty good guy. I've heard things over the years, that has, a couple close friends that had instances with him, but Ron and I never specifically had instances until now.
Just try to clean up. It sounds muffled just a little bit. I don't want you to be misconstrued.
I'm still recovering, trying to get my voice back from Eldora.
Oh, I hear what you're saying. Sorry about that. It sounded like Tommy was way clearer, but Tommy's very loud. I want you to be able to maybe take it off speaker and try to do it without the speaker.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's extremely better. All right, continue. So you
okay.
We kind of heard what you said, but I just want to make sure everything you say from here on out is clear. That's all.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now? There.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Beautiful.
Verizon commercial specials.
But you were trying to help
honestly,
Ron.
I think this deal. Yeah, just trying to help Ron. Get going. He calls me and he says, "Man, I'm not really prepared for this. Is there any way you can help me out? Can we team up and make it happen?" As far as teaming up, as him bringing me on board to run his team, and I said, "Yeah." I said, "Let me come over. We'll see what you got going on." And this was on Tuesday before Speed Week, or we spoke on Monday. I didn't make it over there till Tuesday afternoon, and he was like, "This is what I got. This is what we got to do." Tyler gets in Wednesday, and I'd say for what we were working with, we put together a pretty nice piece. Now
outside of the shocks, make sure you say that. Outside of the shocks, no, on this plan. Keep going.
What's that?
Outside of the shocks, it was a pretty good piece. Outside of the shocks.
Yeah. No, actually, I think that was also to verify on the Penske deal there. That was more or less a miscommunication, and with the steering box being bad, that we didn't catch, unfortunately. So it wasn't the Penske shocks, that's for sure. It was top three of the top teams in Pennsylvania are on Penske shocks.
So the steering box is more so the issue than the shocks there.
Yeah. So what'd you say?
And well, I was just going to ask. So, what made Ron reach out to you? What is your credibility in having Ron Rutherford bringing in Tyler Walker to reach out to someone like you? What did he see or know about you, or what have you done to make Ron think you were prepared for that?
Just mutual friends involved, and got us linked up. And like I said, never would have thought.
Had you run a race team before or anything?
I think it was more or less miscommunication. What were you saying? Sorry.
Have you run a race team before or anything along those lines? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I've owned my own race team for quite a few years. I've had quite a few good drivers in my car. I mean, I consider them good drivers. Our most recent driver was Linton Jeffrey, who's a very, very good driver. He races Knoxville. He's from Australia, and so unfortunately, we were running house motors for a reputable engine builder, HP, and the guy that was funding the house motors passed away. Unfortunately, rest in peace. And so, if you can't have a big motor with a lot of horsepower, you can't race against these outlaws and high limit guys and all stars. That's just how it is. So we haven't been racing for about 2 years now.
And I was just going to say, and PA, you don't want to go to Williams Grove and Port Royal with the boys they got with sub horsepower, really.
No, yeah, exactly. I mean, if it's summer track, it's dried off a little slick. Track slows down. You got a good shot, but when you're going to the Kings Royal, you got to have a top-notch thumper. We ran all Speed Week Air with a little motor, but we still gave it all we could. So
right, and then so. That's one of the reasons he brought you on. You had run a race car team before. Unfortunately, it sounds like your motor sponsor went away. So then you, sideline what team, what car, what number was it for people to try to reference?
The number 15. We normally stick with the same design. We just change up the colors a little bit and throughout the years, and different schemes. But we've always had about the same sponsors, same product sponsors. We're pretty loyal to all our product sponsors. And anyone that helps the team. Like I said, if you can't do it 110%, 410 sprint car racing is no joke. I mean, if you're out there and half-assing it, you shouldn't be out there. I mean, that's just the bottom line. If you want to do that, you need to go to a different division. So so I basically said, if I can't have a good motor, and be competitive, I have brand new equipment and and nice truck and trailer and everything. And if you just can't be at your top tier, you just shouldn't be out there. You're just going to be in the way. There's people that do this for a living. There's people that spend a lot of money to do this, and it's a tough gig to get going.
Yeah, when you talk like that, it's so buttering with a hot knife. It seems like you actually care about more than just yourself, which is hard to find, believe it or not, in the sprint car cultural world, I would say.
Yes, yeah. Racing, I've always been around racing. It's in my blood, very passionate about it. Try to help any way I can. And it's unfortunate that we're even doing a broadcast right now. I think a lot of it was miscommunications, just between everybody involved. And
well, when did that start happening?
Should have been kept off of social media.
Yeah.
What's that?
Well, I understand things should have been kept off, but we're living in the world we are right now. I was just gonna say, obviously Kings Royal, the no show happened. Ron had his explanation. It sounds like, based on Tommy's testimony here, I guess we're calling it that, right? It seems like this had been a building issue. When did you notice things start going a little in this direction with Ron?
I would say during Speed Week. Like I said, I got a lot of phone calls, but I always had Ron's back and still do have Ron's back, in a sense, he is a good guy overall. Yeah. He just didn't play his cards right. And it's a shame, like I said, it's a shame that it's even on broadcast right now on live. So, we never want bad publicity for racing. I know they say good or bad publicity, helps, but I think bad publicity is not good, for the sake of racing. But probably I would say Speed Week, when people were starting to ask questions and people were calling me saying they needed paid, and it's just a lot to do. Speed Week's a tough gig. It's 10 nights of racing. Even with a couple rainouts, you still feel like you're never sleeping. You're always working on the car, getting it ready. I know Ron was doing his best to get everything taken care of. I just feel some things weren't handled properly. There was just a lot of, I best describe it as, I guess, being buffaloed, just duped. But
what does being buffaloed mean?
Well, we were told we were getting a better motor in the car, and we knew we were since Lincoln on Monday, Tyler was saying that motor felt like it was laying down, and it finally did let go at Path Valley on Sunday, the last day. So we got another motor Friday, better motor, and we wanted to put that in the car, but that never went in the car Friday or Saturday. And then his boy ended up running Sunday. He's a very, very good kid, works hard and does the best he can, doing racing, and, had a good finish up at Port Royal Saturday night, which we were shocked. We were like, holy shit, look at him go, In the 358, yeah.
I was proud of him.
We were watching as we were watching.
Yeah, because Tyler's great. Unfortunately, I think those are some of the innocent people in this getting affected.
Yeah, and that's one thing I made sure to say to everyone. Is at the end of the day, his boys and his kids and Ron and his partner Ange, and they all did what they could. I just think to race at this level, in this intensity, and to do Speed Week and then have a week and then jump right into Eldora, one of the crown jewels of sprint car racing. You have to be, not only emotionally, physically, and financially ready to go for that. And if you can't, you just shouldn't do it.
Right.
But at the end of the day, we thought we were getting a good sponsor to come on board, and there was miscommunication there as well, which affected the overall capacity of how the team could race.
So obviously you were in control of the operation, it seemed like, a little bit from this whole get-go. Why did the car go from the rat bag car to the puppets car? Because it looked like a whole nother car, a chassis, everything.
What's that? Sorry.
The rat bag car to the puppets car looked like a whole new race car. Well, how did it go to how did y'all go from the silver car, the Ratback car, to this one? Was it two different race cars or the same?
Well, it was. I think it was. We were either at Hagerstown or the Grove, and a guy came up and he goes, "Oh, that's our old car," and I'm like, well, "What are you talking about?" You know, and he's like, "Yeah, we ran that car and then we wrecked it out of Baps," and then that threw Tyler and I off pretty good, you know.
Why is that?
So
what
we were
happened?
like,
Why did it throw y'all off? Why?
Well, you never want to be running a wrecked car to begin with, but we were down a little bit on horsepower with the motor we had in during speed week in that car, and then hearing that really threw us off a little bit, thinking, "Oh, is this thing twisted?" And then we find out the left front is twisted a little bit, which at the end of the day,
well, I'm assuming Ron told y'all this, right? That it was twisted.
What's that?
Ron told y'all that it was twisted.
No. We were told. Well, we were told that it had 3 races on it or something, or originally we were told it was a new car, and then we were told it had 3 races on it, and then we find out it had 20 plus races. So I don't even know who to believe. I'd rather work with a new piece, you know, something that we know is, you know, fresh off the Maxim jig. So, and I wanted to clarify a little something. As I was saying, you know, Ron's a great guy and a good guy, but there's also the flaws. You know what I mean? He has some flaws as well. So I know there's some people that are probably wondering, well, what's going on? He's saying he's a great guy, you know. So things weren't handled correctly when, you know, he made some bad decisions, like leaving Friday night to go, and he claimed, you know, he's saying he's going to watch his son race at Port Royal, but it's like, come on now, man, we're at Kings Royal. Like, we're trying to do well out here. We're trying to make it happen, and you're just bouncing out.
Right. And so that was it. That was the only bad. How did you? I was just trying to figure out whose car that was at Eldora. That's a question.
It's actually one of my brand new cars out of my shop. Nice mid max, you know, Maxim, the best there is in sprint car racing. Maxim chassis.
And so you donated that to the team, or how did that work? Because there's a story. I mean, everybody's read the Ron Rutherford post, so we're trying to. Now that we're into this new car, how did this work? Or if Ron's story 110% correct, then there's no reason to talk, right?
Yeah, no. I was supposed to be paid some money before we left for Eldora, but then I believe with what was going on with Bitcoin, they were waiting forever to send him the money, and things just didn't get put together in time. So by the time we did all the work it takes to, you know, load a trailer and which, you know, when I got there the Tuesday for Speed Week, I mean, the trailer was empty. It needed worked on. You know, they just haven't used it this year, which they would have found if they've used it. But without having a truck to pull it, you know, so I brought my truck over, got that hooked up, and, you know, had Tommy, the one crew guy, you know, one of the sponsors who ended up helping on the crew doing fuel and cleaning the car, as he said, and taking the mud.
That's what he said.
You know, he worked on what's that?
That's his description. I told him he fueled the car. He just wanted to say he's a mud
exactly.
Yep.
So I don't know. I was pretty, like, basically, you know, putting the whole team together and, you know, basically building spares and getting parts together and loading the trailer and organizing it and getting it cleaned out and make sure that was ready for Speed Week, which then you race through Speed Week. But then when you're done with Speed Week, you lose some equipment, you wreck some equipment. You know what I mean? So we had a few radius rods, a few drag links, a few wheels that were lost during Speed Week, you know, due to wrecks. I think we 2 right fronts, a left rear, 3 drag links, a couple sets of radius rods, you know, we had a steering box, you know.
Well, I mean, probably the biggest bill was the shock deal, you know, because didn't he get, they got brand new FKs the next day, right? I guess for Tyler, because he liked the FKs they had at Lincoln.
Yeah, so as far as like on the shock deal, changed shocks but still had the same steering box, so we're still having the same issue. He kept selling, he was losing the front end.
But there was FKs the rest of the week,
really,
right?
Yeah, we left them on the rest of the week because that's what he wanted.
And those were new ones that were just bought by Ron, right? New ones bought by Ron.
No. So we actually had one set of FKs to work with the whole time. And actually, one of the crew guys, Brian Hare here, he very good friends with Superfly Shocks, and he called in a favor and took them over, and they got them rushed and got them done to the numbers that we were looking for, and went and picked them up. But then we didn't know that the next week and a half that we were going to know that they weren't paid for, and I believe they're still not paid for that work. And then we were supposed to get another set or 2 of FKs, which never came. But The reasoning on that, you'd have to ask Ron.
Were they
but
sponsored, or was Ron having to buy this himself?
now I'm not 100% sure, so I don't want to speculate on that. People said they donated.
It's
to
like
help get
it's like
shocks,
what
and
Tommy
we
was
never
saying.
got
A
any
lot of
more
people
shocks.
were trying to give Tyler whatever he needed, basically, and Ron was the guy they were
Yeah,
going to.
exactly.
Ron was the guy they were going to with the money to make sure that happened.
Yes. And then we keep asking for things, and they, just our requests weren't answered, which made it harder on us in the end. Some even simple things as, ice, gas for the generator, a new cord for the generator so we could actually run the engine heater. I think out of probably 3 or 4 nights we cold started the motor, which is terrible for these motors. It puts a lot of wear and tear on them. But
Okay.
you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I was listening to you talk.
Okay. Oh, sorry. It's hard when it's not on speaker.
It's
But
okay.
yeah, we never got another set of FK shocks. Now Ron does have other shocks there. 2 sets of he's got 2 sets of CSIs for his boy's Tyler car, and his a set of CSI gas shocks for his youngest boy's car. And they're nice shocks and all, but if we don't have the numbers on where we need them, which he eventually did get Kirk Buis to do the CSI shocks, so his boy had some shocks to race since we only had 4 FKs. I had no problem bringing my Penske's, but after that Port Royal deal, I was like, well, we're not running any more Penske's.
Yeah, you don't want to risk yourself.
I'm not gonna.
Yeah, you don't. Hey, man, I mean, I love Tyler, but man, there's other ways to handle that in front of everybody. That's all I'm saying on that shock.
Yeah, exactly.
I think if he was an outside watching, he would agree too.
I'm sure it was heat of the moment, and with that steering box, I'm sure it did feel like, he was losing the front end, and the shock sucked because he's turning left, the car's going right, turning right, car's going left. He literally Friday at Williams Grove, coming off of turn 4, he's going down the straightaway, slamming the wheel left and right as hard as he could, and the car was still driving straight. Well, that's finally when we realized the worm gear was bad in the car. We had another local racer owner, Jeff Miller, come check it out and verify it because he deals a lot with steerings. And so he was like, yeah, you guys just got to call it done for tonight. We didn't have another steering box in the trailer. So.
Okay. So just to keep going, I'm sure we could go down a list here. So you give this car with the idea that you're going to get money for this new car you're bringing to the team that's getting wrapped by Bitcoin, that's making this King's Royal thing happen, this return and all this, the Bitcoin people, the puppets. Y'all run, I thought, a pretty good, successful D-Main at the end of the week there on Friday. He was out there outrunning High Limit and World of Outlaw drivers, Zane DeVault, good guys. Car looked good. He still has it. And then you don't show, it's a no-show for the C, I believe, and then no car the next day. What happened in that period of time to make that car not show up for the next day? And is the Ron Rutherford post the truth?
No. So Friday evening after the races, there was supposed to be negotiations between the sponsor, Ron, Tyler, and myself, and there was nothing settled at that negotiation and that talk, which was handled there at turn 3 at Eldora. We were getting the runaround. There just wasn't. It seemed like everyone was stretching the truth a little bit, and that's their business, in a sense. Promises just weren't made. I think there was a lot of, like I said earlier, there was a lot of miscommunication that should have been handled more professionally, and should have been basically hashed out before you leave to head to the Eldora.
Right, but like you said, the deal was made. They're trying to make it happen. You were just willing to, give your stuff. You'd at least think that the team would give effort without knowing where the money is going to be. You're there. Why not race the next day? What happened in the process of the next day then if that conversation didn't work out? Because it seems like it's went a lot of different ways. If you want to try to go on speakerphone, you can. I'm sorry. Try it one more time if you would like to.
Can you put this on speaker? Yeah, it's not my phone. It's another guy's phone.
Okay.
But, can you hear me now?
I can hear you. It's just way muffled. I don't know if the speaker plug or whatever has got like dirt all in it or not, but Yeah, it's a little muffled, but
Speaker down there.
all right, go for it. We'll
People
just try
need to-
it. It seems like everybody else. I'm asking him what happened. To reiterate to those there, Tommy and Brian, I'm asking them. Obviously, this meeting didn't go well Friday night. What happened the next day? Tommy said earlier that y'all didn't even have rooms booked on Saturday. At the beginning, at the end, it was like Ron was set to leave already. Was that supposed to be a scenario where it's like he corners the Bitcoin guy and tries to get money to stay, or what was the deal there? What happened?
Well, Ron and them left, and he wanted us to head back east. Saturday morning. Well, Saturday morning we start getting multiple calls on everybody within the crew's cell phones. Tyler was getting calls. Tommy was getting calls. Brian was getting calls. I was getting calls. Other guys around us were getting calls and asking where we're at, what we're doing.
So
what time
you
we'll
didn't
be
even
at the
know that
track,
he
we're
had
showing
left?
up.
Did you know he had left?
Who, Ron?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Ron said he was heading back east, and he wanted to get home. He had to take a couple things out of the trailer for his boy Tyler to race Port Royal Saturday night.
And that was on Friday night. You had that discussion Friday night.
Yes. Friday night after races.
So people are asking y'all where y'all at, etc. And then how does that? Where's the next step? What happens? How do we get to where, the rest of that day goes?
Yeah, Saturday got pretty interesting. So basically, the sponsor told us one thing. We got there, another thing happened, and one thing led to another. Where they weren't paying any more money. Which that's about all I know on that deal as far as.
But you were there with
where.
the trailer in the car, ready to race.
Yes, yeah. We had the rig parked outside the pit gate, and we were told that they were going to purchase the roller for a certain amount, and they were going to pay Tyler his money before we had to head into the track. Well, when we went over to the merchandise trailer, he said, "Here's money for pit passes," and basically said, "Go down, race, and then we'll deal with everything after the races." Well, after the owner leaving Friday night and the driver being a little upset that he only received a little bit of money when he was promised one thing, that's what there's a lot of misrepresentation and miscommunication.
Do you think the promises that were made to Tyler about the Bitcoin offerings was made by Bitcoin or third-party sources like Ron saying this is what Bitcoin's going to do, this is type deal, or did Bitcoin actually make these promises and deals with Tyler? Do you know?
Michael with Bitcoin was actually the one that was dealing with Ron, and
right.
Ron, those two communicating.
Okay.
I mean, I was there at the conversation when they said that about giving 50% of the merchandise, and then he did change it to 100% of the merchandise.
The Bitcoin guy offered all the money from the T-shirt
sales. He offered 100%. Yeah.
After it was supposed to be half, because I believe the Bitcoin guy invested in all the T-shirts. He bought all the shirts. He bought the vendor spot. It's a single holder Bitcoin. This Michael guy, he's just he's a big sprint car fan. Wanted Bitcoin in the sport. It's like his risk, his bet, his gamble. And then it was like 50% of the profits, I guess, would go to Tyler. And then you're saying he altered that to saying he'd give all of it, all the profits.
Yes, he did. And so then, basically we were there in negotiations because I know, Ron didn't have the funds to pay me for the car. I was supposed to get a certain amount before we left for Eldora. I mean, who in their right mind would give someone a brand new roller? I mean, top to bottom, front to back with the best equipment on it, and then not want paid. I mean, I'm not a bank here. I'm not giving out loans.
Right. So were you expecting the money from the Bitcoin guy or from Ron at that point?
No. What, it's Saturday?
Yeah, when all this negotiation.
So on Saturday, the Bitcoin guy said that they would purchase it for the Bitcoin Museum. But then when we were negotiating with him, in a sense, he said, he basically coerced us to get us to the track. And nothing came through. So I said, well, I thought you were going to be purchasing the roller, which would clear Ron's debt with me. and that would help everyone involved, which, because Friday evening and a little bit Thursday, Ron was talking about how he was interested in the roller, which I still owned and was my car.
Ron was the original person who was supposed to buy that car prior to Speed Week, correct?
No, not prior to Speed Week. He wasn't interested in this car.
Prior to the King's Roll, my fault. Prior to the King's Roll.
Yeah, King's Roll, yeah.
He was supposed to purchase that from you. That was his initiated, like, deal idea purchase. He was buying that car, and that's why you brought it to the King's Roll effort.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah,
well,
he was going to be purchasing the car, and when I didn't receive any money, and then a few other people came up to me and said that, you know, if we junked it, he wasn't planning on paying me, and this and that, it started to scare me a little bit. And when we couldn't even get gas in the generator till 2:30, we couldn't start really maintaining anything important, you know, to get the trailer going at the track on Friday. You know, he was very tied up and getting pulled away with T-shirt sales, and I think more or less, you know, more or less, you know, just got carried away and an ego thing.
Money grab.
So Tommy's screaming money grab.
You know, when we're trying to go out on the track, we're trying to go race against the best in the business, and everyone's like, "Where's our tire guy?" Oh, he's delivering shirts. I mean, that's a fucking problem, Chaz. You know what I mean? Yeah. That is a problem. That is a problem. You can't run a race team like that, and that's just all there is to it.
Well, and this is why you're very serious.
Put together.
Well, I'm just saying, this is why I noticed you as the hard worker, the backbone, the thing that's making this thing tick. I don't think, being an observer of this, if you don't exist, this doesn't happen, period. Period. I don't think any sponsor, any car owner, combined with this situation, is going to work without you involved as the player of this. Now, maybe somebody else could do all you did, but you're very serious about this race car. You know, I watched you in there every night till 5 a.m., getting up at 9, killing yourself, taking off time for work. You know, you have a regular business. You're trying to make this thing hump. Out of all the people, if I'm judging people by...
I did everything I could to help the man out. Right. You know, and then at the end of the day, he's going to go online and publicly shit-talk me and others in the crew. And, yes, it was a tough 10 days in Speed Week, and it was a tough, you know, time out at Eldora. We didn't have proper help, and, yes, I was ignorant to the crew, and I've talked a lot of shit. I'll talk shit to your face, you know. I don't really care. At that point, you know, I'm actually getting a little upset. So people were texting me and everything, you know, and it's actually pissing me off. You know, I'm a very upfront, I'm a very blunt person, but I also am very professional. I have a lot of people in the racing world that respect me, and I respect everyone in the racing world. So, to, you know, get a text message that I was being recorded in the shop yesterday, you know, really pisses me off. You know, I have been biting my tongue, you know, till now, to try to be nice about the whole situation. But you know what? At the end of the day, it was my fuel jugs, my gas cans, my truck pulling the trailer, it was my race car, it was my freaking spare parts that were all unpaid for. So I don't know what else to say other than the fact that it was not handled properly, it was not done right, and he does not belong in the 410 sprint car division until he does it right or has the proper funding and sponsors to do so. When I'm hearing that he's taking money that was donated to the team and spending it on his own personal bills, he was $7,000 behind on the shop rent. You know,
hold on. How do you know this? Hold on. How do you know
the owner of the building?
How do you know he's $7,000? How do you know? We can't be saying stuff without.
No, he was $7,000 because I had the owner of the building that he rents from talking to me about it all Speed Week, and he's also a local 410 sprint car driver. And now, you know, he did take care of his rent. But you know what? He did it at the end of Speed Week after sponsorship money was collected and after T-shirts were sold, and that's not right. If you have money coming in to help a race team and we're asking for Simple Green, we're asking for freaking lithium grease, you know, and people want to call me Two-Faced because I'm nice around your kids, because, you know, this is sort of a shout-out to Ron. I'm nice around your kids because, and then you want to call me Two-Faced? I could have walked in there and been an asshole, but I wasn't. So, you know, I'm embarrassing myself. I'm going to cool down a little bit because...
No, you're not embarrassing yourself. You're not embarrassing yourself. You basically said you...
You know, I'm just very passionate about racing and get drug into this mess.
Well, I'm just saying you're basically saying that you brought a level of professionalism when dealing with a very unprofessional scenario, because you were nice to everyone, crossing the T's, dotting the I's to make sure the race car operation continued.
You know,
but you felt another way. You felt it. I'm just saying you felt another way the entire time. I don't know what they recorded. Maybe it was they're calling you Two-Faced because you're venting frustration not in front of them because that's unprofessional in front of the kids. That's highly emotional. That could create a very bad. That you were just trying to make the boat fucking float, and you see some problems. And you know, and they're trying to record you venting your problems. They want it public. I guess now here it is. That's basically what you're doing. This is how you feel about what happened.
Yeah, how I truly feel is that it was the money did not go to the appropriate places. The sponsorship money, there was too many lies, too many fibs. There was things, you know, one person's telling me, you know, Ron's telling me he got this amount, and then the person that actually gave the money gave this amount. You know, we had a guy, we needed supplies, so we had a guy on the crew, Tommy Hayden, you know, owner of FSC SIDECARs. You know, he was going to the store and getting our supplies because the owner couldn't handle going and getting our supplies. You know,
right. Well, and then, hell, at that point, he might have been lying about what he's paying you. You know, I mean, all the rumors.
I lost so much money. I lost so much money in this deal. It's not even funny. The jobs that I turned down and the jobs that I rescheduled and everything else, you know, I charged Ron next to nothing a daily rate. I worked 15 days straight from when I started the Tuesday before Speed Week up until the Sunday of Speed Week ended. And basically, long story short, you know, at the end of the day, I just never should have done the deal. I should have said, Ron, you're not prepared to do this. And that would have been it. No one else, you know, they wouldn't have been able to do it, you know. And, yeah, they could have brought someone else in, but they would have had to dish out more money, and I just don't think the money was there at the time.
Well, do you think Ron maybe has said to others when they question if you took care of Andrew that Ron has said he has? You know, I only have 2 experiences with Ron. Personally, where I had that kind of like, what? That never happened. Like,
so,
you know, I heard people say that he was saying I made like $5,000 on this Bitcoin deal, and the Bitcoin guy only gave me like $700 to get hotels because they were so expensive. That's the only dime I've received. So Ron's from my rumor. I'm just saying.
Business, you know?
Well, I'm just saying from my rumor mill, that's the only one I've heard. I mean, who knows what he's saying he has paid you. Maybe it is his car, or if it's not, how would it be in the background? I mean, is it his car? What's the deal there? What happened with this whole cop thing?
With what?
This cop thing. I mean, what's he talking about there in his post?
Oh, that's between him and Tyler and all that. That has nothing to do with me.
What do you mean? That's a Tyler. That's a Tyler. So Tyler was involved in something there. Are you saying?
And what?
Okay.
So, at Eldora? Or
no, the motor deal where he had to get the cops to get his motor, or he's missing parts and pieces, I guess. Are you the one that didn't return all the parts and pieces? What's he talking about?
No, it was on its way from Ohio, and he had to pay money to Tyler before he received the motor. I didn't quite agree with what was going on. I didn't want any part of it, and I don't really know the specifics